Wholesalers. This is such an exciting show today, talking about going into 2025 and putting together a really robust and effective marketing plan, really customized to what you're trying to accomplish, because everybody's different. And I'll break down the four main differences that I've seen over the last 7 years of coaching a lot of you guys and being on the YouTube channel and on Instagram and getting all the feedback and really boiling that down so that you have a clear path, because there's so many different ways that we could do this business. There's so many different ways to find opportunities. There's so many different techniques, but I want to simplify that so that you're able to go out there, take massive imperfect action every single day and achieve the goals that you want, right? We want to go out there. We want to make really great income so that we have enough excess after all of our expenses every single month to go and buy assets, to go and buy some rental properties, to go and buy some apartments, to go and buy maybe some land to develop or something else. Whatever it is that you want to accomplish, you can accomplish it in this business. I truly believe that. There's no magic to this thing. There's no secrets to this anymore. It's all about having conversations with property owners and making offers, okay? Or the people that represent the property owners and making offers, like agents or other wholesalers or investors or attorneys or whatever else. So we're going to get into this, guys, because in 2025, there's going to be some changes, right? There's changes. The TCPA saw the avalanche of AI coming. They saw the avalanche of automated messages coming, and they're going on the offense on this, okay? They're really going to get aggressive in 2025 for the companies that are really sending out a tremendous amount of messages. And so I want to make sure that you guys are as protected as possible and really understand as much as possible, okay? So what's happening is, in 2025, there's something called one-to-one consent. And mostly this affects the pay-per-lead companies, right? This is the Sell My House Fast. This is the property leads. This is the motivated leads. This is the lead Zillows, all of those guys. Now, I've talked to every single one of them, mostly, and they've all got it so that there's a disclosure that the consumer understands who they're selling their leads to. That's what the FTC the FCC wants, right? Which is different than the TCPA. That's more for calls, and I'll get there in just a second. But when it comes to internet-based leads, they're going to just let people know that they're going to go to you and everything's good. So that I don't think is going to get disrupted that much, except for if these companies were recycling these leads and or selling them to multiple people, their income's going to go dramatically down. So you're probably going to see some companies fall off, but the ones that are just selling leads to one person at a time are going to win. They're already doing this. They already saw this coming down the line. And so they don't have to react to it because they were already active in making sure that their process were really clean. But I do see, guys, and this is just my forecast, I do see an increase in the cost for pay per lead. Okay. I do see an increase there because I think that there is some recycling going on in that business. And if they have to get consent over and over and over again and try to sell these leads over and over and over again, I think it's be tougher. I think it's going to raise the prices. So watch out for that. That's just my prediction. We're going to see. All right. Now, let's talk about cold calling. Let's talk about text messaging. Guys, I'm going to just put this out there right now. If you are sending out mass text messages and you are not scrubbing the DNC list, you're in a world of hurt. And I don't mean to be dramatic like that, and I don't like being negative, but it is really not the right path. All right? If you're not scrubbing the DNC on your calls and your texts, you can run into issues. Let me show you this. This is interesting. So I texted Eric Allen, my telecommunications attorney, and let me add this here. Let me stop the screen there and add this to the stage. I think this is the beginning because I wanted to know if the consent, let me get the right one. All right, this is what I texted him this morning. Good morning. Hope all is well. Was calling to see if the new changes for the one-to-one consent are going to affect the cold calling companies that people hire to make calls for them. I have students with big teams in foreign countries that make the calls, then send over the leads. He says, hey, Brent, hopefully you are well. Thankfully, the one-to-one rule only applies to auto dialing. This is like AI, guys. This is pre-recorded messages. This is a robot on the call. All right. He makes a distinction here between auto dialing and somebody that's doing it manually, which is like the Mojos, the batch dialers, some of these things. Now, is there gray area as to is Mojo an auto dialer? Sure, because it dials 3 lines at the same time. But for the most part, it's a human behind there and you're making calls. And so it doesn't, the changes coming on doesn't really affect you, right? If you're hiring companies or VAs to make calls for you and they're sending you the leads, they don't have to get that one-to-one consent, according to this, which I thought was really, really important because I thought that would really put some molasses on the whole process. Okay. Now, so if you have a student or foreign agent who is using an auto dialer, then they need the new one-to-one consent. If not, then they don't, right? That is if you're just doing AI calls, right? Which is becoming very popular, guys. And I'm going to go down a rabbit hole when it comes to real estate agents here too in a second. Even when calling manually, though, they would still need to think about the do not call list. Okay. Most courts and regulators these days lump home buying calls in with more traditional forms of telemarketing. And so they should be scrubbing DNC unless they have at least some level of consent or EBR, but doesn't necessarily have to be one-to-one consent. This is great. If you're hiring people to make a bunch of calls for you and you're scrubbing the DNC list, boom, you're awesome. But let's be honest. Most people aren't scrubbing the DNC list. Most people aren't removing that because 90% of the phone numbers in the United States are on the do not call list. So that leaves us 10%. So, when we're starting out, a lot of people, I'm not pointing any fingers at anybody, but a lot of people say, you know what? I'll take the risk. If I call them, they can try to sue me for $500 for calling them, but I don't think it's worth their time because really the do not call is a self-policed thing until your company gets big. And that's what I'm talking about today, guys. Once you get big, then, and you're making a tremendous amount of calls and you have a tremendous amount of people making these calls and you're not scrubbing against the DNC list, it just opens you up. It opens you up to litigation. It opens you up to putting a target on your back. And I don't want that to happen. There's got to be a transition that you make in your business. There's got to be a transition that you make with your marketing concepts. And I'm going to go through a blueprint here in just a second, but I think it's really, really, really important, guys. It's really important for long-term business building. And guys, this is going to get tighter and tighter and tighter and tighter. It's just going to happen. And I'm the talk to people guy. I'm the cold call guy. I'm the go out and be as proactive as possible guy. And I truly believe that. Scrub against the DNC. I've been saying it for 7 years. Scrub against the DNC and scrub against the litigators, right? Anybody that you pull the list for. And I want your questions here, guys, because this is going to open up a lot of comments. I already see them coming in, right? And so we'll get to all those questions in a second, but make sure that you guys, if you want to build a long-lasting, big-time business and you're not scrubbing against the DNC, it's just a matter of time. And if you really want to get crushed, do text message marketing, text blasting, and not scrub against the DNC because they got all your information and they're going to pull on that thread and they're going to find you. Okay. I don't want that to happen. I want you to stay protected. I want you to be in this business forever and ever and ever. I want you to find the best deals. I want you to build the strongest business you possibly can on a sound and really, really strong foundation. Okay. Awesome. Now this is the one that I was really interested about because this is interesting. The last one is, can AI call and text real estate agents that are on the DNC because they are a commercial number? That's what I've always been told. Agents, the real estate agents, commercial number. Boom. No, requires consent. Guys, I'm just telling you, you can do what you want in your business. You can make all the plans that you want in your business. If you're using AI, if you're using automatic drip campaigns, that's another one. But if you're using AI to reach out to all of these people, if they want, they can litigate this. They can come after you if they're on the DNC. It's right there. And this guy runs the biggest cases possible, and he's absolutely incredible. This is from the attorney, and I'm just letting you guys know this. Okay? So be careful with AI. If you have consent, go bananas. If you don't, you can't. That is what it is. And so if anybody wants to argue that, I'd love to hear both sides of it, but this is coming straight from an attorney. I'm not an attorney. I'm just telling you the information that I'm getting. So watch for that. Watch for all this AI stuff that's rolling out, that's calling a bazillion people at a time, or texting a ton of people at one time. If people get angry, and if people are want to go after you, and you've got a big brand or a big name, or you've got a big company, you're making, $500, $600, $700, $1 million plus, and you're implementing AI into your business, you have to have consent. It's very clear. You have to have consent. So just make sure you guys are protecting yourself. Now, let's go into more exciting stuff. Let's go more into 2025. What are we looking at? What are we looking at for the best marketing techniques? Really, it breaks down into four main factors, right? What's your budget? What's your budget? Will you put me over here? Yeah. All right. Make sure you guys can hear me. Matt's not here. Matt just, who usually runs this is super dark, dude. Matt that usually runs this is, he just had a baby. So congratulations. So marketing budget, I really break down into four main parts here, guys. Starting with $0 to $1,000, $1,000 to $3,000, $3,000 to $10,000, and then $10,000 plus. I believe there's a shift that happens right here. I believe once you go to $3,000 or more in your marketing budget, I believe that you should be going to inbound leads. Okay? Inbound leads. When you're starting out and you don't have a marketing budget, it's nitty gritty. You're going out there, you're making a lot of calls, you're talking to a lot of people, you're knocking doors. Maybe you're sending some handwritten notes to property owners. That's really effective and it really works out well. But you gotta really bootstrap it in the beginning, or you build referrals, or you go on the MLS, or you're talking to real estate agents. You can call them up, have a conversation with them, and start building that referral database, which is very popular and very effective, right? Find a list of real estate agents. You call 30 of them every single day. You talk to them and you ask them if they have anything that's in original condition or that needs some love. It's a conversation you go over and over and over and over, and it's really effective. The other thing, guys, I am telling you, and Tom Croll is going to come on here and he's going to talk about it. But if you're in this section, and really if you're in all of these, you need to get your Facebook friends up to 5,000 people that are in real estate. You go in and you search in your group section in Facebook and you type in real estate investing or real estate in Arizona, California, Texas, Florida, Colorado, wherever you're at. Go into those groups, friend request people until you have 5,000. And every single day, post to your social media, I buy houses. I buy houses, DM me. I buy houses, DM me. Every single day, guys. You get to 5,000 and you post that. Another prediction, but I've seen this happen, and I don't think that there's any magic to this. I think you're going to add at least 5 to 10 deals a year by just doing that, and that's absolutely free. It's absolutely free. All right, but you got to get loud. You got to be brave. You got to have courage, and you got to post out there what you're doing, and you have to have conviction behind it, right? It doesn't have to be, oh, well, people know that I'm this and that. I talked to a student the other day, and he's like, oh, I did that. And my brother was like, what are you doing? You're scamming people. We don't have any money. Guys, we're in real estate. There's more money than there are deals. There's something called transactional funding. You can get 100% financing on your deals at the right discount. It's absolutely, that is fundamental. You have all the money possible. So go out there confidently that you buy houses, okay? Post it every single day. And in here, you're getting nitty gritty. You're pulling niche lists. You're pulling probate and inherited. You either go down to the county and get that, or your recorder's office or the courts, and you get those lists of probates, or I'll show you here. I really like these two resources, guys. I like, let me put it in here, realsupermarket.com. .com is phenomenal. And they've got a tremendous amount of lists here. Let me share this with you. Present, share screen, Real Supermarket, share. These guys here are phenomenal. Really, really, really solid. They have some really great niche lists that are going to cost you probably $500 to $600 a month for the list, and you'll be able to call them up or reach out to them or mail them and get some really good leads coming in, and that's going to be really phenomenal for you. This is a great one, and so is US Lead List. US Lead List. Boom. This is the top list. This has been the top list for us. This is pre-probates, and it's phenomenal. And there's Micah Nichols. What a handsome guy. There you go. Those are the two lists, and then obviously you're driving for dollars, guys. That's what you want to be using there, and getting as many opportunities as possible. All right. So that's 0 to 1,000. And I'll pull this thing back up. And this is when you're starting out, you have no money, you're new, it's part-time, or no money, new, and you've got experience. You've got direct mail, which we talked about, which is handwritten notes. You've got referrals, which is your Facebook, getting loud on Facebook, and then calling or texting once you've scrubbed the DNC. Okay. It's all in there. All right. And so this is the blueprint that I want you to follow if you have 0 to 1,000 budget. If you don't have any money. Now, if you have some money, you drop down to the third one there. You have a little bit of money. Now you can start hiring a VA to make these calls for you, right? Maybe you can get into paper lead. That's when we get into here, guys. Let's switch it back over. I'll go full screen on this. Right here, this is when you're getting into hiring a VA and direct mail if you want to, which is, guys, or I'm going to have Ryan Dossie on. He's got some incredible stats on direct mail right now. It's going to blow your mind. Got Tom Croll coming up here in 12 minutes. And we've got Hugh Boy out of Georgia doing amazing things. But here, and then PPL here, right? This is where you want to start getting some of these inbound. You want to start just doing the lead follow-up, setting the appointments, building your sales skills, going on those appointments. But in the beginning, it's going to be you're building it up. You're building up your budget to be able to throw into more lead generation. Okay. Then you move into, at this point right here, I think that you make the transition to all inbound leads. I think because 90% of the calls are on the numbers are on the DNC, the bigger your group, if you start getting here for those big ROIs, the return on investments that you can get from cold calling companies, you could spend $6.50 to $8 an hour, get 12 cold callers, and they could be sending you in leads. But if you're not filtering the DNC, you're putting yourself at risk. And if you're putting yourself at risk, then it's going to affect your attention. It's going to affect your reputation. And I just think long-term transitioning into inbound leads is the way to go here, right? Whether that be direct mail, whether that be PPL, whether that be PPC. I think this is when you start playing in, if you're in a smaller market, you start going to PPC. And then at 10,000 plus, I think you do PPC, you do TV, you do radio, you do some of the bigger mass media stuff, but all roads guys lead to PPC. Intent-based leads are the best of the best. It's not even close. When somebody is literally searching for you, the cash cycle is 30 days from the time that you talk to somebody to the time that you close that deal and get paid, as opposed to 90 to 120 days when it comes to outbound efforts. And the deals are bigger. Deals are bigger. They're just historically bigger deals by like a factor of like 20 to 25% bigger. So if you're in this budget, if you're looking at it and you go, okay, what do? I don't have a huge budget. Post every single day to Facebook. Get niche lists that you're going to call. Find the ugliest properties in your marketplace and be absolutely obsessed with it. Or start reaching out to real estate agents, making offers on the MLS or asking them for referrals. Has everybody got that? I hope that that's super clear. I want that to be super clear so that you know what to do here. Okay. Now, if you've got 1,000 or 3,000, maybe you can hire a VA now to make some calls for you. You can start doing some more direct mail and start getting into pay per lead. This has been really phenomenal for a lot of the Rhino Tribe members in our in the Wholesaling Inc. mentorship program. This has been really, really good and really solid. All right. And then once you get into here, now you're playing in with a bigger budget and you want to make sure that you're starting to get into PPC in your marketplace. You could try some Facebook ads. Facebook has been kind of helter-skelter for our business, but it can be effective. That would be another one here. But all roads lead to pay-per-click. If you look at the biggest companies, it's pay-per-click, right? Or they stay in the zero marketing budget and get referrals. That leads me to the next point, which I want to go through, is the different options. Guys, this is great. 2 different options, right? For $1 million plus business. Option number 1 is direct to seller. All right, direct to seller. You're going direct to seller, you're sourcing the deal. The average is going to be about $20,000 per deal, okay? But your marketing is going to cost you 25%. You're going to get a 1 to 4 return on investment once you get to scale. And that sounds horrible if you're used to like this ridiculous return on investment from being super proactive and going outbound, right? But again, 90% DNC, so be careful. Your personnel is going to cost you 30%, your overheads 5%, your profits 40%, and that means that you're averaging take home for you, the owner, because you're not working in it, about $8,000 per deal. Make sense? 20,000. Take off 60,000, 40% less, 8,000. The other option is have no marketing budget. Do it all on referrals. Build a dispo model where you're just helping other people sell their deals and or getting referrals from agents. But typically, if you're getting it from other wholesalers and you're getting it from agents and you're getting it from, and you're doing more of a dispo model, the average is 10,000. It's just different. It's half. Because there's more people involved there, and you're just doing half of the, you're doing the other half. You're doing the dispo, you're selling it. You've got a great cash buyer database. But if you ask the big companies, the big companies that have really grown and they don't do marketing and they just focus on this, this is the numbers that they're looking at. Personnel is about 30%. Your personnel is going to cost you 30% to run this thing, right? Same percent, overhead 5%, but your profit 65%. That's fantastic. But 65% of 10,000 is 6,500. And I would argue the silent killer of this model of the dispo and referrals from agents and making offers on MLS deals is personnel turnover. Personnel turnover. Them starting their own businesses, them finding, not making enough to hit their financial goals, them moving, whatever else. You need to have way more personnel here for this model than you do for the direct to seller model. It's just less leads than this model right here. You have to have a tremendous amount of teams. And you see this happening with the people that do 200, 300, 400 deals a year. This is the model that they're implementing. And I totally understand it because they don't want to do the marketing side of it. They don't want to do the acquisition side. They want the acquisitions to come from relationships and being proactive, reaching out to agents and other wholesalers and investors. And it's awesome. And guys, either way, you can make a fortune. Either way is fantastic. Either way, you can build a long-lasting business for sure. Just depends on what you want to do. So have your plan. When you're going into 2025, what do you want to do? Do you want to go with more of a plan where you're gonna put more money into marketing and control the whole process? Or are you going to go and build a referral-based business where you're getting deals from other people, but you're going to have to hire personnel to really scale, right? You're going to have to really, really scale. Because you have to do 10 deals to get to 100,000 here when you have to do 5 deals when you're sourcing it yourself. I hope this makes sense to everybody. and it opens everybody's eyes. But be very, 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 very careful with AI. Be very, very careful with automation in 2025. Automation, if you do not have consent and you're using a Go High Level platform and you're sending drip campaigns to those people, I'm going to go back here, and you're doing campaigns to those people, be careful. That's all I'm saying. Be careful with that. Get consent to be able to send people messages once you have those leads, because if you don't, there could be problems. Now, Brent, well, you know, who knows? I mean, not everybody gets sued. You know, I mean, maybe if you want to take that risk, I just want you to know what the risks are, and you go and do what you want to do. But if you've got these, I talked to these unbelievable guys that came in from SoCal for a wholesale hotline, and they're killers. Stars in their eyes. They're going to be multi-millionaires without a doubt. But their model was have 12 callers, drop a bunch of leads in every day. I think it's like 30 leads a day, and put them into automated systems that drip. You know, you're calling to try to get a hold of them. But if you can't, which is pretty often when you have a handoff with outbound sources, you have a drip campaign that drips on these people over and over and over. You could be sued for each and every time you send that. Let alone if you have when you build a big brand, this thing says they can go back 4 years once this implements. And so you build this big company, you have all these leads coming in, you're doing well. It's not costing you a tremendous amount because the cost isn't that much to make a tremendous amount of calls and get those leads in, and then do a drip campaign to follow up with those until they're ready to go. If you don't have consent, it's a problem. And I don't want you to have problems. I want you to find the absolute best deals and work your way into getting as many inbound leads as possible. I think it's the most efficient. In my opinion, do what you want. It's the most efficient to have inbound small team of absolute savages and high profit margins. 40% profit margin on a $2 million business. That we just crossed over 2 million this month in our business this year, and feels really good. Feels really, really good. And then 3 million, 4 million, blah 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 blah. So there you go. And guys, if you are in that position, and this is an advertisement right now for my agency because we're the absolute best at this. Talktopeople.com. If you're interested in doing pay-per-click, reach out and we'll have a conversation with you. We'll audit your market. We'll see what's going on, right? And if all that conversation funnels to pay-per-click, I'm just telling you, I've been doing this 20 years. Nothing's like pay-per-click leads. Nothing is like inbound pay-per-click leads. I'll bring on any part of my team. I could call them right now, say, what's the best leads that we've ever had? And they would say pay-per-click. Without a doubt. There you go. So, guys, stay protected. Figure out your marketing plan for 2025. What do you want to do? I think that direct mail is going to have a huge resurgence. And I think being loud on social media and Facebook is so incredibly powerful. And you need to do it as an entrepreneur. And somebody that does it better than anybody that I know, that has literally built his brand on just posting to Facebook without any marketing, without any advertising, built the #1 podcast when it came to wholesaling properties. And at the time, it was one of the biggest podcasts in real estate investing. Mr. Tom Croll is here to join us. Tom,
looking good, brother.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you.
I'm excited for 2025. I think it's going to be a huge year. I'm very bullish. We've already seen a bunch of buyers come back, so it's been really, really, really exciting. We locked up 3 deals yesterday, and we should lock up 2 or 3 more of people that were kind of sitting on the sidelines. So the momentum is back, baby.
Bam! No doubt. Yeah, the market is. I'm getting every few minutes. My Robinhood sends me an alert. Bing, ding, ding, ding. So it's been a great adventure. People are happy and things are going well and getting better every day. I'm really looking forward to 2025. And social media and organic and getting a lot of traction with hard work and sweat equity is phenomenal. So I'm a huge fan. I love it. Absolutely. Let's do it.
So give us your strategy, Tom, because you truly are the master at putting out and building an audience on Facebook, but making it feel very, very, very comfortable, make it feel like, oh my gosh, I love this guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I love what he's saying and I love what he's doing. And it's really, it's exploded your business and every business that you've started.
I'll tell you, it's interesting because I think foundationally, what really feeds paid advertising is not money, it's messaging, right? The fuel, the propellant to paid is when you have your messaging dialed in. You know what to say, how to say it, the tonality, the volume, the actual words that you're using or not using, how you're positioning it, whether it's negative or positive. And this is true for wholesaling or any other business that you have. And I think that's the starting point, right? Is how do you say what you say? And that's really the fuel. When you see paid ads that are not working, it's because organic's not working. Yep. Right. So I think that your paid and organic, it's 1 + 1 = 11. It's not, it doesn't replace it. Paid doesn't replace it. It's the gasoline. It's the rocket fuel that propels it. They work in unison. So I think that's the key. And I think you have to be really proud of what you do and how you do it and the value that you bring. What do you and I know about all the most successful people that we know, right? They bring a lot of value to a lot of people. And I think that that's key, right? Foundationally, the key with organic is knowing who you help. Here's an acronym that everybody can use, right? People will say, well, what do you do? And they talk about elevator pitches. This is something I teach all of my clients. It's called the PSO method. It's PPSOO. It's the person, the pain, the solution, the outcome, and the objection, right? And it's a
say it again.
Yeah, so it's PPSOO. It's the person, right? Who can use this? I'll show you how to use this. You could use anywhere. Most landlords, right? Okay, great. What's the pain? Never end up finding their first property. Why? Why? Because they're using their own money, right? So their pain is they're using. So what's the solution? Let's name it, right? Label it, right? All good people label it. They name it, right? Using my upside down lender program, right? Using my tenant lender program, whatever you call it. What's the outcome? You're going to have your first cash flowing property within 87 days. What's the objection? Even if I'm not Tom Croll, even if you have bad credit and no money to start with and no money for marketing, whatever, that framework is just a good way to think about it. And what you'll notice it does is it leaves people out. Good messaging doesn't include everybody. So, you have to be proud of what you do. What do you do? Most people who need to sell their property fast, they're in a pinch, right? And you go right into what you do. We help people who want to exchange price for speed and convenience, right? We've been saying it for over a decade.
Forever.
And you're never going to convince somebody who doesn't. Most people who own their home don't want to sell it. Most people who want to sell their home don't want your low price. So you got to be really firm in that. There's no trickery, right? You should be proud of what you do. You should stand up for it, provide a really good service. And that's the starting point for organic. And a really great acronym that I use for organic is SPIRALS. It's SPIRALS is an acronym that just stands for social media groups, podcasts, in-person meetings, reviews. Reviews is a big one. Right? For reviews is a big one. So social media groups, be loud, be proud, be everywhere, right? Don't go into these social media groups where sellers are at. And people are like, well, I feel like, am I wasting my time in social media? I have clients, I have coaches who their entire strategy for finding properties is only in social media groups. So don't tell me one of the guys that you and I know very, very well.
I know.
I won't say who, let's not say who it is, but one of the guys that you and I know very well, they do over 1 million. Well, I don't want to say anything more, but they do a lot of revenue, right? A lot of revenue. And their entire channel is just social media groups, right? So
not only that, Tom, so explain it just a little bit. It's social media groups where it's a local group you're running a local group page. You're very excited about your community. You're very excited about the things in there. Not the things in there, but the what are the restaurants? What are the schools? What's going on in the community? Is there a parade going down Main Street? All of these things, right?
Yeah.
And they're getting unbelievable deals from people in this group.
Here's the thing. You have got to go all in on organic. Look, a lot of my clients, they come in, they're already wealthy and they are just looking at paid ads. You got to focus on the spiral. Social media groups for sure is one, and you should dominate them. I have a coaching couple who coaches that, and that's where they find all their deals, and they're phenomenal. And
they're right here.
Yeah. Are they here?
Yeah.
Are they? Do you know who I'm talking about?
Joe and Jen.
I am absolutely. Are they here right now?
They're right. They just said bam, dude.
Bam! I didn't even know. Hey, Joe, there you go. But absolutely phenomenal. Del Fave, they're the best at that. So there is social media groups. Then you have podcasting. Podcasting doesn't relate to, yes, it does. There's tons of local. Of course it does. Of course it. Then you have in-person meetings. I remember my first in-person meetings down. I had to go to the next town over. So host in-person meetings. Go to in-person meetings, right? Every single person. I remember walking up in Panera Bread to the group of Century 21 agents and saying, oh, I'm a real estate investor. I'm a cash buyer. And I was like on day 3. And I was like, what am I talking? I had no idea, right? You got to be loud and you got to put yourself out there. You got to, you have to collect reviews.
Yep.
Reviews are, there's a whole bunch of ones you can use, right? There's a whole bunch of services. There's Sotellus, if you guys like that, but you have got to become a ninja at collecting. Here's the secret with reviews. I'll give everybody, this will make you just a fortune for the rest of your entrepreneurial journey. I don't care what you sell, door hinges or houses, it doesn't matter. Here's the deal. As soon as you over deliver and somebody pays you their hard-earned money and they get what they paid you for and even a little bit more, there's a little glowing marble in their belly. It's called, Robert Cialdini from the book Influence teaches us this glowing marble is called reciprocity. Mm-hmm. And what that is this beautiful glowing marble. They are their shoulders are up. They can't wait to call you and say, Brent, thank you so much. I just got the check for my house and what you need to do is you need to stop them right there and say, wait, don't say another word. If you look at your phone, because I keep mine on a short code, right? It's a little short code. I'll text it to you and I'll say, Brent, hold on. Before you say another word, look at your phone. I sent you a link. Can you give me a video review right now? I know your makeup's not on, right? But you can redo another one later. They never will. They never will redo, right? Get it right then, instantly. Become a ninja of collecting good news instantly. And I am going to tell you that when you can catch someone where the camera's moving and it's bad lighting and there's laundry and a cat in the background, and they're saying, hey, listen, Brent said he was going to do this. He did it. I got my check. I'm so happy. I'm moving in with my daughter in North Carolina, and I'm just so appreciative. Guys, it's gold. But if you allow them on that phone call to say all of that and you don't stop them, that glowing marble, it just lost half of its glow and you'll never get it back. And the review, if you do get one a few weeks later, is going to sound like this. Brent is great. He was awesome. Thank you, Brent. And that is not going to move anybody to sell you anything, their house or anything, right? So you got to do reviews.
Well, and also, Tom, just as to add on that just a little bit, Google reviews are so powerful once you start once you start getting web-based leads. If you decide to do that in your business, is the Google reviews, people will literally tell you about the Google reviews, work with you because of the Google reviews, read the Google reviews. They will go through that. The people that, are searching online for services or searching online for an offer, they will look at those Google reviews. It's so critical to start building those up.
I couldn't agree more. I think reviews and social proof is the business that you bought for me was 100% on good news. And I would even go a step further. We incorporated, and I do this with some of my other LLCs, is a director of good news, someone whose entire sole responsibility, one of their primary roles in the company, is to collect good news, to be plugged into the support groups, to be plugged into the title company, to be plugged into whatever activities. And a KPI, key performance indicator, is, hey, Sally, you're supposed to get 3 reviews on video. They only count on video, right? For that purpose. Google reviews are great. And did you get your 3, right? So I think that really, this is, you know what it's like, the difference between this and paid. It's like you are Dave Chappelle, or you are, you're another comedian, and you're going into every little place with hard work. And then you learn how your entire bit, the whole entire skit makes them laugh. And then you get your Netflix special. And now you can't fail. Right now you can't fail. But going right to Netflix, it could be tougher. So, yep. Yeah, I love it. I love it. Yeah, you have a list building is the L, right? Getting those emails, building that list. Oh my God. One of the most important assets in your business. I don't care what you sell. If it's Victory Bells or Bernie's Mountain Dog puppies, you better have a big list of buyers and sellers ready to go at a moment's notice that you're constantly providing mountains and mountains of value to. What is value? What can I do? Go back and watch your stuff. Anyone who's listening, go back and ask yourself this question: what can I do with what I just heard from that video? And if it's nothing, it's not valuable, right? Information is dead. It's value, value, value. And there's no such thing as too much. Just watch Gary Vee, right? You don't watch a video without saying, hey, that's a great idea. I should do that right now for a result. So, and the last one is social media lives, the last in spirals, right? Social media lives is absolutely killer. I mean, yep. You're not going live on social media. I don't know what to tell you. I mean, it's a no-brainer for sure.
Tom, if I were to do a disposition business, which I talked about earlier, and didn't want to do any marketing, didn't want to take that, just wanted to build up my cash buyer database, build up my referral base to send me the deals to sell for them, I would do it live. I would do it live all the day long. I would do my disposition live the whole day. I would go on TikTok live. I would go on Facebook live. I would probably do a StreamYard where maybe it goes to several different places, and I would press go, and I would just document my entire day of selling deals. I would,
brother.
I would just do that. And then people are going to see that. And other wholesalers are going to see that. And other people interested in selling deals in your marketplace are going to see that. And then all of a sudden you're selling deals for people that live across the world, across the country. And they know, like, and trust you because they see you actually doing the work. It's a whole different world, man. We used to do the Facebook lives, and it was just in a group, and it didn't really Facebook didn't kind of congested it a little bit. So it didn't get as much as exposure as it used to, but TikTok's huge. TikTok is huge for that.
I think that, for everyone listening, that it sounds so easy to have come to that conclusion, right? But I just want to give the framework or the underpinnings of what Brent is talking about. This is called a platform company, guys. And if you really want to go to the next level, if you really want to change the game and be talk about a needle mover, look up. There's a great book called Platform Revolution by Joffrey. I can't think of his last name. Phenomenal book. It was given to me by our friend Orrin Woodward, one of the most successful people in the country. And that's really where the art of bringing people together. And if you look at the largest exits at the largest companies, what do they do? What does Airbnb do? I have a home, you need a home. What does Match.com and Uber do? I have a car, you need a ride. Or the grocery store, when you can provide the venue, right, in a platform company, forget it. It's now you're a rocket ship. So I love that. And that's exactly what I would do. And the small idea of Facebook Lives of facilitating that on a platform company like social media, like Facebook, is phenomenal. I mean, yeah, all day long.
So Tom, what would you do? What would you do if, you time travel back, not even time travel, but you wanted to start getting some deals. You don't have a marketing budget, but you want to use social media to find deals. What would you do?
The first thing that I would do is, it took me a long time to get out of my own way.
Yeah.
And I think that was really, for me personally, the power of rock bottom, right? It was just letting go, right, of my ego. And, it's the funniest thing is when I was getting the worst results I've ever had in my life, my ego, you would think I was like a rock star. I thought so much of myself when I was in my own way. I didn't want to listen to no one. So I think the first thing the realization that I had is, number one, I had to drop the ego and I had to submit to instruction and I had to take massive imperfect action and not care what anybody thinks about me, right? I didn't care about my high school friends and what they were going to think if I went, and then what if it failed and all of this. The other thing is, it's all about who you become. I mean, it's all about who you are. So if I had to change things, I would have got a lot faster to the place of who do I have to be before what do I have to do. Right? I understood I have to be a reader. Right? All the people around me who had everything I wanted, they were all reading. The people around me who weren't doing that, they were sending me text messages that were inappropriate, that were like funny but inappropriate, and that's fine, right? But I would just say I would make some fundamental shifts, right? I mean, let's be real about this, right? If you look at our text messages, what is it? Books, articles, resources, quotes. I mean, the last text I sent you was a quote, right?
Yep.
Negotiating contracts and doing deals. So I think that if I had to redo it, I would take a lot less time to get to understanding who I am and who I need to be and trying to close that gap from where I am and who I'm supposed to be as fast as possible. Also, just accepting what it is that I do and laser focusing on that. I think a lot of times when we get started, the world throws first, the universe gives us a little bit of doubt, like we're not good enough. So I would have got over that quicker. Then it gives us a lot, like it seems whenever anybody starts a new adventure, there's a little bit of disappointment. I called 3 people. They all said no, then I was too scared. But the big one was distraction.
Yep.
And this is something that I would have been a lot better about in the beginning, is understanding that the minute you go to start, what's going to happen is a distraction is going to come, and here's what it's going to look like. It's going to sound a lot easier or more convenient. It's going to sound something like, well, you're already doing this, so adding this is very easy. So, and when a client will describe this to me, they'll use the word just. Like, I just have to do this because I'm already doing this, so that's a distraction. And the other thing you're going to look for is it's going to have a much bigger, better outcome. Like, you'll make more money faster and it'll be easier. So look for that when you start this adventure, and then really, lock down and commit to saying, oh yeah, Tom said this was going to happen. This is the distraction. The best distractions come disguised as opportunities. And here's the thing.
Wait. Say that again, Tom. That's too good.
Yeah. The best distractions come disguised as opportunities, and distractions make money. That's the killer. A lot of people think a distraction won't make money. No. It will kill you with 1,000 little cuts over a long period of time. If your mindset is still in that cash grab mentality, that hustle, that hamster wheel where you're moving and moving and moving, but you're not really moving forward, you're just moving in the same spot, that will pay you. And that's where they're super dangerous. If distractions didn't make money, they wouldn't be distracted. Entrepreneurs are coin operated. So yeah.
I love it, Tom.
Yeah.
I want, as I look on and I went through the conversation about DNC, do not call list. I went through automation in the beginning of this show. I remember August 2017, I flew to Port St. Lucie, or what is it? Palm Beach, maybe.
Yeah.
And then
West Palm. Yeah.
West Palm. And I went to your house. I was standing in that orange room. Yep. And you said, Brent, I really like what you're doing with these cold calling. I really think that the students are going to be interested in this, but I got to make sure they're protected. Yeah. And I said, well, here's my telecommunications attorney, Eric Allen. Why don't you give him a call? You went in that room, you called him, right?
Yeah.
And he said, just let them know that it's a gray area, that making calls to homeowners offering to buy their house is a gray area. It's not necessarily a service, but I highly suggest that you scrub out the DNC list. I remember that?
Oh yeah.
And from that day, that's what we've taught. And by the way, nobody has had more successful students than us with Wholesaling Inc. and me with TTP. Seriously, teaching these techniques. there's still millions of people that you can call. And if people want to take the risk of calling somebody and they say I'm on the DNC and you get rid of them, and that's just, people have to self-police on the DNC. The consumers have to self-police on the DNC. We understand that, but we've always made that disclosure. And I think that it's important to know that if you're going to build a big business that makes millions of calls a year, you're going to put yourself at exposure.
Well,
if you don't scrub.
Here's the law. Here's the principle, right? And this is something that, going back to who do you have to become in order to get the results, right? We're not chasing the result, the money, right? What we're doing is we're attracting the right things, and the money and all that other stuff is just a symptom. And here's the thing. I make mistakes every day. I'm the biggest sinner in the whole world. I messed up 15 minutes before this phone call, and I'll do it again 15 minutes after, right? So I'm not holier than anybody or anything like that. The plank in my eye is 10 times bigger than anybody's little splinter, right? But here's what I will say is a lesson that will serve you well to give you success. And remember, success is a good night's sleep, right? Whatever you do in this life, in business, what success is a good night's sleep. You want to put your head on the pillow and fall asleep. You don't want to be riddled with anxiety and depression and crippling fear. Here is the deal. In order to have more of that, you never want to sacrifice success for wealth. So get out of your head, get out of your heart, and go to your lower belly and operate from your belly. And your gut will tell you when you're in that area where you're like, oh, I don't know, like there's a benefit, but there's also risky. And is anybody getting hurt or whatever it is? Just stop, take a deep breath, slow down, and just say, am I sacrificing success, a good night's sleep, for wealth? Remember wealth, right? Wealth, more and better options than other people, right? It's an external comparison to others. Success, internal comparison to your ideal, is a good night's sleep. Whatever the definition is, it's some variation of a good night's sleep, right? So just when you start to do that, that's when you're becoming, and that's when all the doors open, because the right people will see like, hey, this guy has got a really good attitude. He's doing the right thing. He's trying the best he can. And I want to be around that person. I want to pour into them, and I want to raise them up. And that's that season. If you're in that season, just knock it off. Tony Robbins teaches us a decision is made in an instant. So you could just decide right now to stop doing that, and your life will be exponentially better. And so will your business.
Guys, coachinginc.com. If you've ever thought about being a teacher, a coach, you're really passionate about it, you have that, like Tom said, in your gut, you know who you are. Go to coachinginc.com, coachinginc.com. Tom is the best at coaching coaches, and he's going to put you on that path to where you get a really incredible night's sleep. And he's got to prove that, he's got a bed right behind him, right there. Right. Yeah, he's got a pull-out bed right there. Nobody sleeps better than Tom. Absolutely incredible. Tom, you're the best. I love you, man.
Love you, brother. Have a great day. Talk soon. Bye-bye.
Awesome. All right, guys. Let's get to some questions. You guys have some questions here, which are excellent, and I want to make sure that we get in there. And we got some giveaways. Somebody said that they wanted some TTP swag. So whoever participates the most, I'm going to leave it up to Luke to pick out who's going to receive the swag. We've got the Rhino hat. We're going with the black hat, not the white hat during winter. I just feel like it's a better look, personal preference. We got the zip up hoodie right here with the Rhino Tribe logo. And did nobody claim this last week? Oh, Matt did it. So we'll leave the Trapper Keeper today. So we'll give out one of those to somebody that's participating in the chat here. All right, Jose, a lot of the leads I call, including driving for dollars leads, are on the do not call list. I usually text those from my personal number. Should I stop doing that altogether? If so, how do I go about contacting the homeowners? Beautiful. Yes. I wouldn't. I suggest, if I were coaching you, Jose, I would suggest that you don't text those numbers, especially after January 2025, because they're really tightening up the loopholes on can you text DNC. They say that you can't without permission. So, and you're literally just giving them your information on a text message that say that is that they're going to be able to save and send to an attorney. So I wouldn't. What I would say is you door knock them or you send them mail. And listen, mail, you want to put it out every 6 weeks. You can do a postcard and you can do a letter. And we're going to have Ryan Dossie on next, and he's going to talk about the costs of that. But I think for a postcard, you can get it around the 50 to 75 cents an address. For a letter, it's going to be between $1 and $2, depends on how fancy you want to get. But that's what I suggest that you do. By the way, Tom Croll built an absolute fortune, got out of all of his debts, paid off his house, went on incredible vacations, has 5 kids, all from direct mail. He built his whole business, his wholesaling business, from direct mail. And his brother, Todd Toback, before that. Todd was sending out over 250,000 pieces of mail every single month and had the process to deal with that, had the personnel to be able to handle all that. And so that's what I would do. I would either go to the door or I'd send them direct mail and reach out to them that way. Okay? That's how you do it, Jose. Awesome. Smooth. Once you scrub the DNC list, 90% of your list is gone. LMAO. Yes. 10% still there. 10% still there, right? And what I've seen coming down from, it's the bigger companies that they're targeting. Bigger companies have a target on their back. That's why I talked about, can you switch me over? That's what I talk about here. When you're building a really robust business, you got to switch it to inbound, guys. You got to switch it to inbound because once the litigating attorney, all right, let me lay this out. When NAR got sued, it opened up the floodgates. And then Keller Williams on a bunch of do not call stuff. And I think Coldwell Banker paid a settlement that's ridiculous on agents that were making calls to get listings. This just opened it up. It opened up the view for litigating attorneys to specialize in TCPA complaints. And so what they target is they look for bigger brands that they can put class action lawsuits or bigger lawsuits, not even to like really bring it to court, to shake you down. Literally to shake you down. That's their business model. To get you to settle. Okay? And so it's up to you if you want to do it. If you don't want to remove those 90%, a lot of people don't. And I understand on one level, but I think starting January, it's going to get even more and more and more. And long-term, big business, big wealth, there's different ways to get better leads, in my opinion. By the way, guys, all of this show, all of this channel is based on my opinion and experience. Okay? I bring in the opinions of others and let you guys make your own decisions. But I love you and I want you to be protected and I want you to build a business that lasts a long time. So you got to think about, okay, what does this look like in the next 5 years? You get to this point, you're closing big deals, you're going out there, you're hustling, you're making your calls, you're knocking doors, you're doing all of the lead follow-up, you're pre-qualifying, you're going on the appointments, you're selling those deals, you're building all that momentum. When that momentum is from outbound sources and referrals, and you switch it to inbound, one, the process is totally different. So you need to understand that. But two, this is so that you can build a bigger brand long term that's going to last longer. I have seen, and you guys have seen, tremendous amount of influencers and coaches and coaching companies that had really great strategies for for mass texting or mass calling or AI or all of these things. They're no longer in the business. Where are they? Where are all these guys? Forex trading, drop shipping, whatever other affiliate stuff that they're doing, right? They're just presenters. They're just actors. They're just barely getting into this business. You find somebody that has been in this business over 15 years and has a multi-million-dollar business year after year after year, and then have a conversation. That's my opinion. That's my opinion. But do it with it what you will, okay? I just want you, I want you protected. Chiave, I love it. Chiave says, can initial outreach to agents be automated or have to get permission first to be able to add to drip campaigns? According to the attorney that I just showed you right here, and I'll put it up again. This is literally this morning. Let me hide this. Can AI call and text real estate agents that are on the DNC because they are a commercial number? No, requires consent. That's what it is. That's from a TCPA attorney. So be careful with that, Chiave, right? I know that there's a lot of systems that do it. 2025, and I think it's up until April is some of these when some of these really kick in, but January, some of it kicks in, April, the other stuff kicks in. And I think that's mostly like PPL companies is when April kicks in. But if you've got automated AI reaching out to real estate agents that are on the DNC, do most of them complain? Do any of them complain? I don't know. Probably not. Maybe not. But is there going to be potential? I'm just saying they're tight. They're going to close that loophole. They're going to close that loophole. And can you do it as just a solopreneur and get away with it? I don't know. That's a risk some people are willing to take. But if you want to build a big, robust business, you're going to have a target on your back if you're not doing inbound leads. Just saying. Or the referral base, or do option number 2 real quick right here. And guys, we got Ryan Dossie on to talk some direct mail, which is awesome. But you could go option number 2 where you have zero marketing budget. This is totally cool. And build a really awesome business selling other people's deals. Jamil has made a fortune on this with Keegley. And Josiah and Hunter, they're the absolute masters at this. They're incredible. And Astro Flipping teaches you all this. And I highly suggest it if this is the business that you want to run. But at some point, you're gonna have to hire a bunch of people to be able to really scale this. And there might be some more overhead if you want to bring them into an office setting, which a lot of those companies do. So that overhead actually balloons up to like 10, 15%, right? And so if you want to go with this option, awesome. But if you build $1 million plus business and you're going direct to seller, at some point you got to get inbound leads. At some point you got to get inbound leads. There you go. Awesome. Guys, Ryan Dossie is here. Hide current comment and boom. Ryan.
What up, bud? How are you?
How are you?
Good. You're making me, I have setup envy. So yeah, looking great, man.
That's it. That's it. It's, I've got the big, LED wall, 20 foot by 9 foot LED wall. I got a couple cameras. I love it.
Yeah, that's awesome, dude.
So
real quick before you ask me anything,
yep.
I'm extremely proud of you as one person who focuses on doing this the right way.
Yeah.
Of some of this stuff you're calling out, because like the laws are the laws and the consequences are real. I mean, we've literally had people that we coach that we tell don't call people if they're not on the do not call list that have called a couple hundred people that got a return to sender that have been sued for it. Yep. So absolutely love that you're just setting that like everybody's adults. You can break the laws if you want, but there's consequences. And dude, some of those AI softwares have the ability to make those consequences gnarly in a hurry. So just hats off to you.
Thank you, Ryan. And something that, and this really was spawned from something that Tom sent me, who was just on Tom Croll. And it was about coaches, influencers, and people that have social media presence. And it was this clip from this guy. And he said, if you want to make a fortune, lie to people that want to be lied to. If you want to make a living, tell the truth to people that want to hear the truth. And if you want to lose everything, tell the truth to people that want to be lied to. And if you really, if you really let that sink in, you have to understand, the fortune that I've built is built off of being an actual operator in real estate. That's where that's the money that I've made. Have I made money coaching and affiliates and YouTube's paid me and all these other things? Absolutely. But I didn't start that way. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, it's really true. If you want to make a fortune, lie to people that want to be lied to. And people will turn a blind eye to some of the stuff that I'm saying, and I totally understand it. but I think that they're at risk, and I just at least want them to know the risks that they have going into it.
Yeah, no, I love it, man.
So direct mail, I think it's coming back in a big way. I've had more clients sending out direct mail to probate inherited and getting really, really, really great results from it. So a couple things. What are you seeing from a direct mail side? Is it the same amount of volume? Is it less volume? Was there more volume in 2017 than there is now?
Yeah.
Talk to me about that.
Good question, man. It's hyper market specific. I'm personally over 11 with a 12th. So I have a lot of insights into like what's working right now. And it really is market specific. Overall, I would say it does seem less competitive. I think you have a lot of the less like, let me get rich quick type energy attention on it where people are just swinging for the fences.
Yep.
So I think like that has benefited us as operators. The flip side to that though, I do think that there are, fewer opportunities that are coming through than back in 2017.
Okay.
So it's kind of this double-edged sword of there's less competition.
Yep.
And there's less result. So what that means is you have to work your leads and you have to really value all of the opportunities. You know, if you're not working your leads, if you're expecting somebody to call you and be like, hey, Brett, got your piece of mail, you can have my house, you're going to miss out on 99% of the at-bats that would have converted into deals for you.
Yep.
I think something people tend to forget in this space is it doesn't take very many yeses to make a relative fortune compared to other verticals. So,
yep. So what do you mean that there's less opportunities?
I mean, you've got a lot of negatives in the market, right? You've got rate locks, you've got properties have appreciated a lot, right? So like lists we're seeing that are working really well right now are like expired MLS listings. They tried to sell it, didn't sell, interfamily transfer or inherited.
Yeah.
We've also done really well on seniors. You know, I think you're getting a little bit less of the like, yeah, I just want to upgrade type leads. It tends to be things where there's maybe something a little bit more going on that they've got to make a decision.
Got it. So just the overall market. I mean, people know that they've got, I mean, the market has slowed, right? Because interest rates went up and everybody's like, oh my gosh, we'll never see these 2 to 3% interest rates again. You know, this is great. I think people are waking up from that though. I think,
so
I'm telling you, I think that people are like, you know what? I've been in this house long enough. I know that my payment's going to be higher. I think that this is going to be about what it's at in this 5, 6. I don't think it's going to go into the 7s, 8s. I think it's going to stay in this 5, 6 range. I don't think it's going to go lower than that. Just based on conversations I've had with loan officers that have been doing it a really long time. And I think people are, that's becoming normalized. And because it's becoming normalized, people are going to make the decision, hey, do I want to buy that dream house? Do I want to move to that dream area? Do I want to be in that dream school district or whatever else? And they're going to make those decisions. And the market's going to speed up from that standpoint. And maybe that opens up more opportunities with direct mail. I don't know.
We are seeing a pretty big spike in calls over at Call Porter post-election announcement. So we've seen a lot of, hey, I was waiting. Now I'm ready to go. So, you know, I would say like through the end of the year is going to be funky for lack of a better words. Like you have holidays, you have elections, you've got all the politics and stuff going. But I'm really excited about 2025 personally for people that are doing things the right way.
Now, are you saying don't send mail during November, December?
I would say do it with proper expectations. So I still market through the holidays. I'm expecting lower response rates. I'm expecting lower deal flow, but we reap that harvest in January. So I typically market heavily through the holidays. And then the result of that is January tends to be really good for me. One secret like tip I'll throw out, if you get calls on the actual holiday, like Thanksgiving or Christmas, those are almost always deals. That is somebody has hit the point of I'm over this. So if your phone rings on those days off of your marketing campaigns, highly recommend treating those seriously.
What's the success rate of postcards versus letters?
That's so variable. What list?
No, come on,
What
give me a
operator?
specific answer, Ryan.
Yeah. So I'll tell you what I do, right? I think that's the best answer I can give.
Yep.
If it's on a niche list, right? It's something I've driven for dollars, I've got code violations or water shut off. Like I've put in effort to get this data. We hit those with the greeting letters. Those generate the highest response rate out of anything we do. If it's on more of a bulk list, we do more of the ballpoint, like Americana type postcards or the asset specific postcards. Couple years ago, postage for postcards was, let's call it 30 cents, and letters was 45 cents. Well, if I could get a higher response rate off letters, I'm going to do that all day long.
Sure.
What's happened though is I think first class postage on letters now is 70, 75 cents, something like that. And postcards is still 35 or 36 cents. So it used to be almost this, I could send, twice the amount of postcards out for the cost of a letter. And that really has like widened.
Yeah.
So proper expectations, like average cost per deal we're seeing depends on the market, but is between 3 to 5K. So if it's a, more affordable market, you're in that range. If it's something
are you getting real quick? Sorry to interrupt, but are you getting any feedback on the deal sizes when you spend 3 to 5K?
Sure.
How much are people making?
Totally depends on the exit, right? Our average when it was something we were strictly wholesaling was north of 15. So our like internal metric we coach off of is you're looking for a 3 to 4x return on ad spend.
That's it.
So if I put out 3K, I better be getting like 10 to 12 back minimum. I would argue if that's all you're getting back, then there's probably other things that you need to improve on the business. Like you can make more selling it to somebody different or wholetailing it or taking the deal down and flipping it yourself. Right. So really depends, but I would say on the flips, the average we're seeing is around like 35K, and that's not fake numbers. That's like actual net P&L after accounting for everything. More expensive markets, right? Like if you're in LA or if you're in, Miami, your cost per deal might be 10, 15K plus. So
sure.
This definitely does work a lot. All of this is easier in more affordable Midwestern or Southern markets. If you're coastal, it's going to be more work, but the reward should be higher.
Love it. And is there a minimum when I talk to people about starting PPL, right?
Yep.
Buying pay per leads from internet-based providers. I say, if you don't have $2,000 minimum, it's going to take you months. It's usually you're getting probably a deal every 15 leads. A lead's going to cost you $200, $150 in some of the smaller markets, and plus. And so if you don't have $2,000 a month to spend on it, don't expect to be closing every single month. Is there a minimum that you suggest for people in, let's just say markets, let's divide this up, markets that are less than 250,000 people and markets that are more than 250,000 people?
All depends on how patient you are, right? So if I'm in a sub 250K market, your cost per deal might be sub 3K. We had a guy that's in 7-figure flipping that just sent us his results, and he sent 750 or 1,500 pieces of mail and got a deal, right? I wouldn't expect that if I'm in Orlando. Like it's gonna be more work than that. So it really comes down to a patience thing. If I'm in a sub 250K market and I'm gonna do $1,000 a month, and I know in like my heart of hearts, it's probably going to cost me 3 to 5K. Am I willing to continue that for 3 to 5 months and still keep good headspace? I'll have people that'll hit me up, man, and they're like, "Hey, can I do 500 a month?" And I'm like, "I don't want your money." Like, you're going to be upset. You're not going to get what you want. I'm not going to get what I want, which is you to get results, because you're going to give up before then. Anytime I'm talking to somebody and they have a larger budget, like that always feels better. So I would say, you can totally do $1,000 a month, even $500 a month if you're patient in a more affordable market. If you're in a, 250, let's call it 400, let's say it's going to cost you 5K to get a deal. So similar, like you probably want to get that marketing out within 2 to 3 months before you start to lose faith, give up interest. If you're in a market that say it's going to cost you 10K to get a deal or 12, you probably really want to be in that 3 to 4 range. One thing that people often, I think, fail to think about is brand penetration and saturation. So the more marketing I do in an area, the more familiar people become with me, the less marketing I actually have to do.
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
For instance, if I'm marketing just to a couple neighborhoods and I'm drowning those neighborhoods, if somebody in that neighborhood decides to sell, they're probably going to think of me. Flip side, if I'm in Indianapolis and I've pulled a list of 10,000 people that I'm cycling through, I'm hoping on that one pass, that one person pans out. It's going to be a little bit more difficult to get traction there.
Awesome. Last question, because I know that you have a awesome schedule today, but response rate. When I was sending out mail in Phoenix, I was getting 1/3% response rate. Okay. So I was like, okay, I'm going to send out, I think it was like 10,000. I'll get like 30 calls or something. Right.
Yeah.
If the math's right there. And then those 30 calls would all kind of come in the same day or the same couple of days. So I had to schedule to figure out, okay, I need somebody that's open that can take these calls as much as possible. And if they can't take it, somebody else takes it, because I want to answer these calls live.
Sure.
What you're seeing in small markets versus big markets from a response rate from people actually just calling, and most of the time, listen, they're going to call and say, hey, stop sending me trash. Stop. Did you see a for sale sign in my yard? Whatever. You're going to deal with that. Whatever. You're still going to get people that are interested in selling. Big markets versus small markets. And then is it important to answer those calls live?
Yeah. I mean, I own a call center that's all we do for that reason, right? I think you're kind of shooting yourself in the foot if you do everything and then don't take the call when it comes in. As far as response rate, man, it's super tricky. Like we've typically said, the average we're seeing on our letters is 1%. The average that we're seeing on the postcards is about 0.5%, right? I just did a campaign for an influencer in Florida and we were at 0.7%, so 0.7, like a couple weeks out. And we know things are going to trickle in long-term. I think what's more important really is that return on ad spend. Like, I don't really care if I get a 5% response rate if I don't make $1 off that campaign versus if I get one call and that one person sells me a property, I'm probably going to try that list again. In the world of like statistics, there's statistical significance, and us saying the difference between 0.5% or 1%, like, kind of a moot point. It's almost luck at that point.
Got it. Awesome. Answer those calls live. I actually have one more because I
go
think this is really important because you work with a lot of clients that have big budgets.
Yep.
Do you see at a certain marketing budget where people just go all inbound versus their outbound efforts? Do you see a blend of both, or are they just sticking to inbound?
Yeah, that's a good question. I'm a big believer of you do all of the inbound marketing stuff. So pay-per-click, Facebook ads, SEO, carrot site, direct mail, right? Literally today, I got a cold calling lead of one guy looking to sell 9 houses. I'm cold calling through Deal Machine only to people that are not on the do not call list, right?
Yep.
So we are seeing some lift through that. Overall, I think it really becomes a time thing. Like there's no way I would be cold calling if I had to do it. I'm cold calling because I have a dude that's an absolute animal that does it for me. So I think it really becomes a highest and best use of your time. If I had to pick between cold calling or like networking locally at local RIA, presenting to other agents, like really building my local sphere, I'm probably going to pursue that over like door knocking. So I don't know if there's a dollar shut off. I think it becomes a ROI thing of like, I did this, it generated that. If that's cold calling, cool, I'm going to keep doing that. If that's direct mail, cool, I'm going to keep doing that. But one of the things we're seeing overall, I think there's a lot of people growing going broke right now, trying to do stuff that used to work, refusing to try something different.
Love it. Ryan, you're the best.
Thanks
Guys,
for having
follow
me.
Ryan. His information's right there. Ryan C. Dossie at Ryan C. Dossie on Instagram. Make sure that you follow him. And he's got an incredible direct mail company, ballpointmarketing.com, right?
Yep.
Go ahead and check that out. He's got some really incredible different pieces of mail that you can send out and are highly effective. So guys, check that out. Ryan, great to see you, bud.
Thanks for having me, man. Good seeing you.
All right. See you, man. Awesome. Ryan Dossie, everybody. Let me get to a couple more questions, and then we're going to bring in Hugh Boy, who has made some transitions in his business, has done absolutely phenomenal, came to this country, didn't speak English, learned English, I think, from watching TV, and now has a business that I know that he's made over $1 million in previous years. I think he's on that way this year, so we'll find out what his transition has been, and that'll be real exciting. And we'll pick his brain. Here we go. AV, how many people should we be talking to a day minimum? If you're doing this full time, 30 minimum, 30 new people a day, 30 new people a day. If you're doing it full time. Okay. That's how many people that you should be talking to. If you're doing it part-time, you have to see, how many hours you can commit to being proactive. And so if you're doing a part-time, I would say at least 10 people a day, for part-time, and then full-time 30 people a day. All right. Shy Boy Gilsey says, so cold calling basically isn't worth it anymore. No, it's 100%. What else are you going to do? Are you going to door knock? This is what I'm saying. The point of this is, as we're going into 2025, the AI services and the automated services, if you don't have permission, watch out. Okay. When it comes to making a mass amount of cold calls and texting, if you're not scrubbing on the DNC, you're going to be at risk. Has been since 1991, guys. 1991. Listen, I built all of my deals from calling property owners, hand dialing property owners, and making offers. Okay, that's how I got out of financial crisis I was in, that I put myself in because of my ego in my 20s. Okay, so I'm coming to you from a place of absolute rock bottom to raising up. It's changed my life forever. Talking to people has changed my life forever. Being able to effectively communicate and make offers on properties that need investment is the most proven path to financial freedom. It 100% is. This business boils down to having conversations, making offers. Let's not overcomplicate it. Having conversations, making offers. What I'm saying is, if you're going to build a big business and you're looking at the systems that you have, there has to be a switch that you make when you start really leveling up in the game to make sure that you can stay in the game longer, because they're actively trying to close all the loopholes for you to call. And let's just say that DNC didn't exist. Let's just put that here for a second. Let's say DNC didn't exist. You could call anybody anytime, right? iPhones are shutting down, people that don't know. They're actively right now, they're actively working to block numbers with the carriers that are shown to make a bunch of calls. They're going to have that technology to be able to do that. I've talked to the owner, Batch Evo, and we had lunch about 6 weeks ago. 100% the FTC, maybe it's the FCC, I think it is the FTC, knows every single major company that's making the most calls. They already know it. They've got the technology. It's Big Brother. They're sitting on top. They can see everything. It doesn't matter if you're switching up your caller ID. It doesn't matter. They look for the biggest ones and they litigate those because they're a self-funded agency. So they go and they've made $180 million since they started. Okay. It's not like this is billions and billions and billions, but they know where it's at. So if you want to put your business at risk of them knowing, and you're building this big company based on calling people on the DNC or texting people on the DNC, you are at risk. It's just a matter of time. That's what I'm saying. Talking to people is 100% worth it. 100% worth it. going for it and going out there and talking to people and having those and initiating those relationships. What else are you going to do? But get loud on social media. Send some handwritten or some postcards or some letters to niche lists that are going to get you really great opportunities. Be the person in the marketplace that can help other people sell their deals. Build your referral database of agents that are going to send you opportunities every single year. Like, just be careful with AI. That's what I'm saying. Be careful with AI and be careful building your business on a rocky foundation that they're actively trying to squeeze you. Do I think that people out there that are just solopreneurs on a mojo dialer are going to get into these huge lawsuits? I haven't seen it. I've seen people have complaints. I've seen people go to small claims courts. I've seen all that stuff, right? I've seen people send demand letters, all that. You know what I mean? But I'm just saying, if your goal is to build an absolute cash machine, start building the skills of working inbound leads at some point. Because 90%, if you're going to have these huge teams that are going to be making a bunch of calls and then filtering it down to your crew and then using automation, you're at risk. Not even from like litigation, not even from like getting in trouble or people being mad at you, but from them tightening the technology that even allows you to be able to do it. Woo! I love you guys. But yeah, you got to go out, be proactive, talk to people. 100%. Bert, talktopeople.com. That's our company. That's our pay-per-click company. I switched talktopeople.com from my coaching program website to a pay-per-click agency because of the success that we're having and because the students that I have in the Rhino Tribe have been asking me to work with us because I have these incredible guys that I stole from Google in here running our ad campaigns, and they were running multi-million-dollar campaigns, millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars in spend and experience. They came into my office just for my company, and then all of my students kept going, hey, listen, can we work with these guys? Can we pay you guys? Do these guys have more capacity? And then we open it up, and it's been fantastic. And so if you're interested in that, we can do an audit. You can talk to the team. You can see if it's the right fit. They'll tell you if the area is available or not, and you can have a good conversation either way. Do what you want to do. All right. But I love it. I think it's exciting. I think it's really exciting. And we started branching into, different markets in Arizona, which has been great. And we've gotten some really great results. And we've spent $700,000, including the fee to my guys, the salary that I pay my guys, $700,000. And we're at about I think with pendings, we're at like 1.9 million for the year in pay-per-click. And close, we're over 2 million for the year for our business. And I've got 3 guys. I've got 2 main guys. Chad takes most of the calls. He gives them to Ryan, and I've got Joshua that takes the nights and weekends. Base salary for them. They each get a base salary of $80K plus 3% for Chad and 6% for the closers, Ryan and Joshua. It's awesome. I think it's a really smart business model, long-term business model. And that's the whole point. I want to be in this business as long as possible, make as much as possible, use this business as the cash machine to buy assets, which I've been doing since 2013. And Facebook's great. Listen, if Facebook works, you do Facebook. Facebook's going to be a cheaper, a less expensive, I don't want to say cheaper, less expensive option for getting leads. I just think you need more of those leads to close a deal. Jose, when is the next time TTP students can stop by the studio and network with the head Rhino? Every Friday, 10 a.m. If you are in the TTP, if you're in the Wholesaling Inc. Rhino Tribe, we're open except for the holidays. We're open 10 a.m. Fridays. The whole team comes in. Oftentimes I have guests that give us lectures and training on building portfolios, on whole life insurance policies, on protecting your wealth, on finding the great, multifamily projects to get into, all sorts of stuff. It's a great time. Jose, come on in anytime. Cold calling baller. So Brent, for us newbies just starting out with cold calling, where and who do we scrub our list with as far as DNC is concerned? Everyone, I think all of the companies that provide skip tracing will give you which ones are on the DNC. And remember, and make sure, and Batch does a really great job. Batch Leads does a really great job now that they're giving they saw what Deal Machine did with giving the free skip tracing with the service. So they've adopted that, but they also have a litigator scrub. And that one's even more powerful because these are people that are known litigators that litigate on TCPA on TCPA complaints. And so you can scrub all those out too. And then I think you can also go to dnc.com. We'll do it for you as well. All right. Footy boy, do you still have, do I still have cold callers? No. We went fully inbound with TV and with pay-per-click. And that was more, Fran did phenomenal for us. She was with us for years. Carmen did phenomenal for us. She did incredible. We wanted to switch our model. We wanted faster leads. The issue with a lot of the cold call leads, once you are the business owner, is it puts a lot of pressure on your acquisition team. And so the acquisition team has to follow up with them for 90 days to 120 days. We wanted to make faster income. And Chad was getting stressed. Chad was making 50 outbound calls a day, 50 conversations a day, doing lead follow-up. People were just kicking the can down the road. They weren't really committed. They really hadn't made the decisions. We had to get rid of a bunch of these leads. And he was just getting frustrated that we weren't moving the deals fast enough. So, but when you're getting started, it takes some time to really build up the momentum, 90 to 120 days. Some people get deals the first day they call. It's awesome. Some people, it takes a while. And it was just clogging up our system with too many leads. We're just getting too many leads coming in that took too long to close. And I wanted now leads, wanted them to go on appointments. And so we made that decision. And it's been awesome. It's been really awesome. But I called for years, guys. I started calling back in 2011. I called from 2011 to 2017 myself. I've talked to 45,000 property owners myself. And then VAs became a thing kind of coming out of 2017, 16, 15, 16. VAs started becoming a thing. Hiring people overseas became a thing. And I started doing that. And I had big groups. And we were just running out. Once we scrubbed through the DNC, we ran out. We were running out of leads to call. And then you're calling the same ones over and over. And then contact rate goes down. And so it was just a mess. And then leads would come in, it would clog up our pipeline because we'd have a lot of lead follow-up to do. We wouldn't be making contact with them because they weren't really as sticky leads as an inbound lead. And so we made the transition. But that was just a decision I made. I made with Jackie, my lead manager, and with Chad. A lot of input from Chad and Ryan and Joshua, and they love it. So there you go. Guys, the incredible from Georgia, Hugh Boy. How are you, Hugh? You're muted somehow.
What's up, Brand? How's it going?
Good. How are you, brother?
Let's go. I'm excited for today's, man. I don't know what I missed so far. I've been on the last 15, 20 minutes, but I heard you talk about great things. So catch me up to speed. What's going on? Just
going into 2025, different marketing techniques. What's the right marketing plan for people just starting out that have $0 to $1,000 budget, people that have $1,000 to $3,000, people that have $3,000 plus to $10,000, and then $10,000 plus. and when you make that transition to inbound versus outbound leads and what that looks like. And, what option do you want? Do you want the option of, are you going to be a disposition company and sell other people's deals and get deals from agents and get deals from other investors? Or are you going to go direct to seller? And I think it's really important. I think when we start, there's a fork in the road that says, what are we going to do? Because I'm telling you, the absolute best disposition companies don't do great at inbound. I mean, don't do great direct to seller. They just don't. They're just not built for it. The skills are different. It's just a different company. And I would say vice versa. I would say the people that are really great at going direct to seller aren't as good at dispo, aren't as good as building out those systems. So which way do you want to go? It's choose your own adventure, baby. You know what I mean? Just understand when you go direct to seller, it's typically 20,000. And if you go and build a dispo model, it's typically 10. You don't have a marketing budget. But you're going to average at the bottom of it about 6,500 on with a dispo model, and on a direct to seller, it's more like 8,000.
Yeah.
So it's close, but just depends on where you want to take it. What's your adventure? I've seen people make a fortune in both. And so,
I'm actually, while you're speaking, I'm actually looking at our average for the year. So right now with the pendings and the sold, we're at 1.163 for the year. So
how much?
1.163.
Oh my gosh. Come on. Where's that bell? Come on. And what's the breakdown of that? How'd you find those deals?
Yeah, so let me look at our channel here, because and the great thing about you mentioned all of the budgets, because I feel like I've incrementally like go up from like the very bottom when I first talked to you. Gosh, geez, like 2 years ago to where I'm at now. I'm going through like every single phase of that whole like ladder. So I think for this year we have SMS, we have cold call. Believe it or not, we have cold call, SMS, direct mail, door knocking, JV with other wholesaler. We have PPC, referral, SEO, and that's just like all of the lead source that I have. But I can tell you right now, we shut down the texting and the cold calling. Like just like you said, we at one point were kind of slowing down. So my VA has a bunch of time on their hand because they usually help me call buyers. But like when we don't have deals, then hey, why don't you try cold calling? I have the dialer set up already. I have all the data. So like he just go and he called like all the old lists. And the crazy thing is, during his first day of cold calling, he actually found a deal, which is like what the hell is going on? Like I don't expect that. So we have one deal from cold calling like this year because my VA just didn't have any time to do it. So we just literally look out on that. On the texting, we stopped all of that, but we still have the lawn control account open for like any old lead that's dripping. Like if something came up, then we'll take it over. But like we don't text new lead. And after the show with you, I feel like I just want to just shut everything down. I don't even like worry about the dripping, because it doesn't cost a lot of money, but it costs attention. Because like you said, we still have to qualify these leads, and then when you talk to them, they don't want to sell, so like they get you in a really bad vibe, because like, hey, you call me, like what the hell you want, right? So I'm thinking just also shutting that part of the business down to focus more on other things. I can tell you right now, like the majority of our business up until September has been coming from either SEO or agent outreach.
Awesome. And
starting September, I start working with you, right? With you and Jesse, and we're adding PPC as that's where the money is being spent. Agent outreach, it doesn't cost any money, but we want to spend more budget on the PPC side.
So when you are doing agent outreach, how do you target the lists that you want to talk that you're going after?
So the way I do it, I'm more in a smaller market, so I just talk to every agent that is in town. So what I do is I go on realtor.com and just download a list of every single agent in that area, and I'm just call them, text them, and then add them to the follow-up system, right? And then now I'm branching more into Atlanta, and we follow the same model. We don't go after on market. We'll go after the agent. We want to build that relationship. They don't have to have a listing for me to call them. I just want to call and say, hey, I'm looking for properties, right? Can you save my name, and can you send me deals in the future? Right? That's basically like the gist of the conversation. And then we have about 3,000 agents in our database that we reach out to on a monthly basis. So
And you send them a message?
Yep.
What do you say?
I say it just depends. Like sometimes I say, hey, I looking for another deal. You have something coming up, or sometimes I say, hey, what do you think about the market? Like where are we heading? And sometimes I say, hey, you need any referrals? Yeah, I have contractors, lenders, inspectors, whatever you need. Let me know, see if I can help, and just maybe change it up a little bit, like because you don't want to ask them for deals like all the time. Like, you also want to like provide value to them. So I'm been doing that for a little while.
And are these agents that you've talked to and then you put into your system, or are these agents that you just put a list and then you're just sending them messages?
So I talk to, I get them into the system, and they would receive a text from the system every month or so. And then when they reply me with an address, and I'll call them and say, hey, what's going on? We'll talk more about the address once they send it over.
Yeah, but you've talked to them before you add them to your system?
Yeah, we always get them on a phone call. We talk to them. We make a
That's the
connection.
move.
Yeah.
That's the move, especially coming in 2025. I'm just telling you, a lot of people are using AI to just put a list in, reach out to them. And if they're on the do not call list, even though they are agents, the attorney that I texted this morning literally said it requires consent. It requires consent. Can AI call and text real estate agents that are on the DNC because they are commercial?
Don't do that, guys, because I can tell you that, and we split test this as well, right? We compare between like the quality of the agent that we actually talk to on the phone versus the agent that we only text. We never get on the phone. Like the agent that we never call.
Yep.
They don't remember who I am after like a few weeks, but the agent who I take the time to talk to, and I add them on Facebook, right? I put a face to a name. Like if I do all of that, then the chance of them remember me is much like way higher. It's not even close. So like right now, I will not add an agent to our follow-up system if I don't talk to them. Like it's talking to them is like a requirement.
Awesome. Absolutely incredible. Great advice there. And so of that $1 million, is it mostly from agents?
I would say about 70%. Yeah.
Woo! Guys, that is the model to follow. So you're just reaching out to all of them, having a conversation, adding them to a campaign, and then following up with them after you've established a relationship. Guys, that is perfect. That is perfect. I love that.
The thing that's hard about that is, you're not going to see success with that overnight. Like I built that entire system over the course of 2 years. And I can tell you, it doesn't produce a lot for the first like 9 months.
Right.
We have is cheap, right? Right now, my if I don't count a PPC, my cost for the whole year with the agent model is $2,000. That's between the texting, like the system, the CRM, right? It's cost like $2,000 for the whole year, and it brings in $700,000. But like when it's first starting out, like it take a long time to build it up, and so I feel like you have to be able to be like just recognize that you're not going to make money with this model like right out the gate, but like it's going to snowball as time goes on. And the beautiful thing is right now my cost with the agent model is so low that I can afford to dump more money into PPC, starting with you. Actually, I think we locked up like 4 deals in September, and it's been crazy. One of them is like $59,000 and it's the biggest deal I've done so far. So
from PPC?
From PPC.
Yeah, it's incredible. So you have a successful model with the agents. Why even do PPC?
I'm getting to a point now where like I could do more agent outreach, but I just get bored after a while. Cause like this model is working really well. I hire new acquisition manager to take it over. They do a good job. Like they bring deals like independent of me. So part of it is like I wanna try something new just to be more excited about wholesaling again. But also I don't want to be like a one trick pony, right? I want at least one backup option just in case they shut down the agent model. I don't think it will. But for whatever reason, let's say if the system crashed and I lost all of my agents in my database, I don't want to shut down my business because of that reason. So we just want a backup plan. And I think looking at all the like possible channels, PPC is the one that makes the most sense for us because we don't mind spending the capital, and we always do really well with SEO. So we figure PPC is just going to be as nice as SEO.
Yeah, it's just adding legs to your stool. You know what I mean? You don't want to have a stool with just one leg. It's gonna it'll get unbalanced at some point. You want to have some multiple lead generation sources for sure. I love it. I love it, man. So how big's your team?
So it's 5 full-time and 1 VA.
Awesome. And what are the 5?
So we have myself, 2 other acquisition manager. And I am also, I'm doing, part of my time is spending on like running numbers, comping and giving them the offer price. And part of the time spending like actually closing deals with them from like the ag standpoint. And then we have two dispo guys.
Awesome. Why do you need 2 dispo guys?
I don't know. Maybe because it's my market. We just have a tough time with one dispo guy. He got overwhelmed. Right now we're having about, I think, like 7 deals like that need to be dispo, and then it just became like too much for one person. So,
John Johnson strongly suggests PPC. It's the most motivated leads by far. Do you agree?
I would 100% agree. And the reason why I choose PPC is because I don't want to manage a cold caller. I don't want to manage. I don't want to, because if you hire a cold caller and a texter, then you probably also have to hire another person to screen all of the leads that come in before it gets to you. Right? So I don't want all that headache. I feel like if I were to spend money training people and hiring people, it's probably like just to make sense to do PPC and just keep all of that and then just get like the cherry on top. Yeah, I think I try mail, I try cold calling. So I try everything out there, and I feel like everything works to a certain extent, but like just what do you want? And for me right now, I value my time. I value my time than saving money. So if I can do a PPC campaign, and so far it's been great. I think it's been a 5x return for like my spend so far. So it's been great. And it just saved a lot of time. I don't have to, do some brain damage follow-up call, like you mentioned with Chad. I'm sure he got burned out too, doing that.
Love it. Love it, Hugh. What market are you in?
I am in Georgia and South Carolina.
Awesome. South Carolina. Big changes there.
Yeah,
we those deals down, or what are you doing?
So I'm in there just because I was in there before the law changed. I just feel like I have built some connection with some realtors. We have done some deals there. We have some buyers. So it's just hard to give that up. Most of the deals we have to either close on it ourselves, like fund it with hard money, hold the property for a few days and sell it. Or sometimes we would do, if it's a direct to seller, then we would do a contract for deed, and we just, going on title without being on the deed, and it still give us the right to sell it, right? Because we actually become the owner. It's just we're just not on the deed ourselves. So that's the 2 ways that I go around it. And it wasn't like we don't put a tremendous effort into that market, but like once deal coming in, I'm still gonna take it if it makes sense.
Awesome. Hugh, how can people reach out to you? They want to do deals with you. They want you to sell their deals. What's the best way?
You can connect with me on Facebook. It's HIEUBUI, my full name. I think I'm probably the only Vietnamese like real estate people in Atlanta, so you can probably find me there. I can drop my phone number too if you like.
And you moved here when you were how old?
So if you listen to my first episode with Brent, I think it's 2 years ago, in 2022. It have more of like a half-hour backstory, but to keep a version short, I moved here when I was 16 in 2012, and didn't learn to speak English at all. I mean, we learned how to read and write, but like I couldn't understand, the American. I don't speak English well enough for them to understand me. So it's been a learning curve ever since. But just keep at it.
You're incredible. What an inspiration. Keep it going. I want 2 million next year.
I'll see you there.
All right. Awesome, Hugh. Great to see you, bud. Love you, man. See ya. That is it, guys. That is our show today. Thank you for sticking around. If you guys have watched the whole show, if not, go back and really take your time with it. Take your time with the first half hour of the show. It's kind of all over the place. That's kind of how my brain works. I apologize. I could probably be a more effective presenter, but this is the way that I mapped it out in my brain to be able to explain what's happening in 2025 and to explain which different paths that you can go on in this business to have the most success. And again, what Tom was saying, success is a good night's sleep. And I think that that's really, that really just simplifies it. It makes it very simple to figure out which path you want to go down. And so build a company that can be long lasting, build something that's going to be special, build something that's going to supercharge your asset column and lead to the passive income at some point to where you can get out of the rat race, right? where your passive income is covering your expenses and you don't have to work anymore. And I love this business because in wholesaling, you can truly replace yourself in this business. I work about 5 hours in the real estate business a week, and my team runs everything else. Each person is way better than I was at each role that they have. And that's what really has exploded the success of my company. So, yeah, come on in, Luke. We're going to say goodbye to you guys. Remember, keep your house clean, protect your health, and increase your value to the world, and you'll live an incredible life. And I want to say hi to little Leo, Alejandro's baby, and what's Matt's daughter's name? Nayeli. And to Nayeli, Matt's daughter that just went home this morning. So life is good here. We love you guys. We'll see you next week.